Hey, happy Monday, happy December 22nd. Look, this is going to be more of a detailed video towards my strategy, towards the way I trade, towards the way, just my thought process and everything in between, right? So I try my best to keep everything transparent, keep everything just open at the same time, whatever can also protect my sense of privacy as well, right? So, um, if you found my YouTube, my content, or any of these videos, and you generally like, even if it's just a small, tiny bit of a video, or maybe something that I said that that truly intrigued you or sparked your interest, drop a sub, right? Drop a like, drop a comment, and just tell me, right? I love feedback, criticism, or positive feedback, whatever it may be. But I do love learning and knowing how I can progress in the future, and just not just be a better trader, but also being able to kind of understand how I can mend myself for the better, right? So in other words, I'm always seeking to improve myself, and I generally believe that's just the key to success. So look, this video is going to be one of those more beginner friendly videos. Again, whatever I just said, regarding my whole strategy, regarding my whole thought process, it's going to be a pretty lengthy video. And before we hop onto our charts, before we hop onto the thing that matters the most of this video, I just want to tell you guys that there's some people who actually have been trading the way I've been preaching, right? So they've already binged watched all my YouTube trading recap videos, and this guy is on a 6-day win streak, right? Actually, let's just hop to Discord and just show you guys, right? So this is what I took a screenshot of right now. He told me he's asking questions wherever and whatever that comes to mind, right? He's not hesitant, and this is exactly how you learn. He's a great example of, if I ever have clients or students, but that's not going to be anytime soon, if I ever do something like that, this guy is the one who I really want people to be like, right? Just because, and not even what I want people to be like, it's just, this is how you learn. When you're curious, when you always think, when you want something, and it shows, right? When you want something, you don't care if you come off as stupid or arrogant. You don't mind your sense of tone or anything. You're curious. You're gonna shoot questions left and right, and that's exactly what this guy has been doing. He's helped me create a Discord. He's honestly probably on a little better side when it comes to trading psychology than I am. He's more on the relaxed side. I personally just come to my desk every day and I try to trade a setup if I see one, right? If I don't see a setup, then it is what it is. I mean, today I saw a great setup. It had a lot of potential, kind of like last week. Honestly, this week is a huge repeat of what happened from last week, in my honest opinion, and what I'm seeing so far. But it just it feels a little bit more choppier in comparison to last week, right? So again, it's just a Monday. We can judge a lot from a Monday and a Friday. You actually have to, right? The way a week starts versus the week is ending, and what to expect from the next upcoming week. So look, I mean, I've been trading for almost 9 years, right? December 27th is actually going to mark my 9th year trading officially, right? So if you want to learn from me, I hope this is a great video to those beginners. I really do love teaching people. Nothing that I have with my brand DayTrader 103, I mean, there's no price tag. There's nothing that's attached to a course. I'm not even smart enough to create a course. I don't know how to even assemble files together. Even my Discord has been asking me to make a course. How do I make a course when I can just create a simple video and just tell you guys what I do and make simple trade recaps, right? So that's honestly my thought process regarding this whole thing. But a lot of people want me to, sorry about that. A lot of people want me to basically make a little more detailed video because my trading recaps is more towards intermediate or advanced traders. So look, I get it, but that's exactly how you learn, by asking feedback, by asking some type of further support, right, if you will. So look, $55, or technically $54.90 on the day. I took it. It is what it is. I mean, it played out exactly how I wanted it to. Just wish it could have been better. Again, it was choppy. And look, I wanna hop on my Discord, right? So obviously you guys can see we have 100 people in here, right? So we have really close to 100 people. I think we're 98, 99 people, whatever it may be, or it could be already at 100. I don't know. People come, and every 10 or 15 people that join, there's somebody who doesn't want to talk and they give me some DM like they don't benefit from this, but you actually have to participate, right? You have to participate, engage to actually get some type of experience out of it. So it's one of those things, fellas. I mean, I love each and everybody, but if you're not trying, if there's no effort on your side, there's nothing you're gonna get back, right? I mean that in the most disrespectful manner as a whole. That's just life. If you go fishing and if you don't put any effort, I mean, what the heck did you expect, right? Now, if you actually put some effort and if you have experience, now your chances of catching a trout is pretty likely. I mean, trout's a pretty common fish too, to be honest, right? But anyways, with that being said, join the Discord. I will drop some more hints, advice and things like that, all in my personal space. This Discord, this server is my personal space, my friends, I have family in here too. These are the guys that I really, really want my to just be transparent and my heart to be open to, right? So if you're in here, I got you. Look, there's also people who join the Discord and they're just quiet, right? So look, they join, you could see it, mutual server, right? I shoot everybody just a general message like, hey, I know people are shy to talk on a server and remain a little bit quiet in there. I get it. Not everybody has knowledge of even knowing what I'm doing. Not a lot of people know what trading means. So, I just like to kind of just say a little thing like, hey, please ask any questions. If I can try to help you, I'll try to help to the best of my abilities, right? Try to be a little bit friendly, right? I mean, not everybody knows everything, and you have to understand that, and you have to be extremely respectful of that. Now, in my almost 9 years of trading, just 5 days short of 9 years officially, I can say that nobody exactly knows what type of mindset to come or what type of strategy works and fails, right? So a lot of people have a lot of different understandings, and they stand on different type of these type of floors, if you will, right, of knowledge. So when we come together, we can try to help each other, and we all can succeed, learn. And I mean, this is how you learn, guys. This is how you can accelerate your success, by being in the right space. And it starts off with being in a Discord, right? If you don't want to be in a Discord, just add me on Discord, we could talk, right? But either way, few people, I mean, you could see my comments over here, right? So look, he said thanks for shooting me a message, pretty spot on. He's shy, doesn't really talk in the servers because he's new. Okay, that's great, friend. I mean, you guys can pause the video and read it yourself. Another person, look, I still have yet to respond to him. Look, shot him the same message again, just copy and paste, just being brutally honest. He said, sup bro, appreciate you reaching out, taking the time to DM people. That's honestly really cool of you. Look, I love this, right? I love feedback like that. I mean, I'm trying my best to be honest. I'm trying my best to just keep everything a buck. And even though some people, I probably come off as a clone or scam, which is kind of accurate. I can't really be mad about that, right? He doesn't get the full strategy, but he's watched some of my YouTube videos, because that's where he joined my Discord link from, right? From my YouTube channel, right? So he told me some things that he struggled about, and that's fine, right? That's what we're gonna talk about in this in this YouTube video, right? And we're gonna dive a little bit more into it in Discord with the remainder of this week. As people backtest, watch this video. So watch this video a few times, right? Right now I'm just yapping, right? Again, send a same thing to this guy. He joined this morning. So look, he doesn't have no questions. He might be completely new to trading. I don't know. All right, it's the same guy here too, right? He doesn't know English, unfortunately. He said he really wants to talk, but he just doesn't know English. But I'm happy to be here, but happy to be among one of you guys in the server. That's great, right? So another guy over here too, right? Look, added him. He joined my server. I mean, you guys can see this in common with everybody, right? In mutual server, they're at FN Trading. That's my server. It's with a lot of lovely and some people that I really want to see in my future long term. And look, again, same message, copy and paste, right? He said, I watched one of your videos on YouTube. You're so good. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Let me know however I can help you and your story and your success, right? Look, there's another guy here, same thing, right? So I love talking to people like this guy. This is actually the one I was thinking about. He said, look, I'm still trying to learn what being a trader even means. Like, that he's very, very new to it. So if he's quiet, it's probably because y'all are talking about trading. He doesn't understand what we're saying. Honestly, he's not the first one. If you're gonna watch this video, there's a lot. Again, we're close to, or we probably already hit 100 people on the server, which is fine. But at the same time, I know a lot of people don't even understand what trading means or how I'm making money, this and that. So I get it, but I can only do so much to actually help you understand, right? So if you kind of jump into trading, if you just listen to what I'm saying and kind of just jump into it, hopefully you do your own due diligence, like in everything in life. Don't just trust the first person that you hear on YouTube, Google, this and that, or whoever made a book or a video regarding what. Hopefully you do your own research before you jump into it, right? Every time you should jump into something with 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? So that's, I hope you guys are doing some type of due diligence or research with whatever decision you guys end up making. So anyways, let's jump into the bigger charts, because that's what matters, right? So my strategy, I put my brightness up. You guys can see exactly what I took this morning, right? I had two things, where I wanted to take a sell, where I wanted to take a buy, right? So let's just rewind it, because I do trade pre-market. Now here's my story. If you're in my Discord, you probably did see my investment policy certificate. I am, according to my state, in my country, I am a certified state federal banker, right? Now that means that I can invest on behalf of this bank. Now this company, Banks, as you know, it's a federal bank. It's a very, very huge, big bank. We're trading. Now a lot of people don't understand this, but I'm making anywhere from basically late 40s to little over 6 figures a day. And that's very, very, very fucking average as a private equity investment officer, level 2, right? So some people say stage 2, some people say level 2. However, I'm one of those sophomore to junior investors, right? So I'm not a newbie. Not a newbie whatsoever. I also graduated in college in a degree in finance, and I specialized it towards investments, right? So real estate, stock markets. I mean, you guys get the whole story. But anyways, let's get to it, right? So now I kind of like to make my charts like this. That's always going to be something that people differ on. You got to see what happens, right? So we come like this, we're going like this, we're moving this little movement. I mean, it starts off with actually reading candles, right? So like this. Now we had a first red candle, and then what had happened, we had flush back up, right? So ideally, I wanted to see it do something like this, and I wanted to see it come back up. That's a story that I was reading so far, right? Now, I'm gonna clear that. I do that. That's always the first thing I try to do. Try to read the story. So now what that means is that we should come over here. Remember the drawing that I had? It was doing like this. So we should come here, right? And we should bounce. Now, why am I doing this? What does this all mean, right? Now, this is what I typically talk about in all my trading recap videos. This means I'm looking for where it's support and where it's resistance, right? So if you have something like this, this can be support. So if this was support, or if this was resistance over here, right? If we had a little price ceiling where she basically denied it, rejected, and the next thing you know, she just came down, that's where we want to take a sell, right here, right? And then when we cross this, you can either see a retest of support. Now it turned resistance to support. If it truly did, it's going to have a retest and it's going to shoot back up, right? In case we missed your entry, you can wait for it over here, right? Or sometimes what she would do, she would need some time. She would come back down here, and then you would still be looking for a little buy over here, but you have to make sure that she pops at support. Before resistance, not support, but then she broke it, and it sometimes does need time. And today was honestly a really great example of that. When to take that buy. Look, you just have to really be patient, and you have to understand what's happening. If you can't read stocks, if you can't read these charts, that's what makes trading in general very, very difficult, right? So you could take a buy over here, you could take a buy over here for a retest, or again a retest, or for it to come above support. Now we're almost trying to bottom ticket and to try to sell by top ticking it as well, right? Now sometimes you do want to see price moving in the intended direction, and then you want to hop right in, right, with a market execution. This strategy works the best if you use buy stops and sell stops, but honestly, I've kind of just gave up on that. I mean, I still use it. This morning was a great example of that as well. This morning was a great example of just my trading style, my trading strategy. Now, even though people don't understand, You can go on any one of, even though I made just this much money, but again, I started this account with $198, and now we're at $537. So I'm consistent, right? I'm currently on a 20-day win streak, and what that also means is that I'm ending the day either green or I'm protecting my capital. So I'm not walking away with a single loss. I've done that 20 days in a row. Well, today's the 20th, right? So look, if you want to, even though you saw the $54.90, right, $55, if you want to make profits like this, if you want to be up on the month, 309,000. If you want to make, I mean, you could look at all my channels, all my videos, see whatever profit truly makes you happy, and so you can spend it how you want, do whatever you want, make the people, you know, that's making you happy, right? If you like 7,400, again, just in the course of 15 to 30 minutes. If you want to, you know, if you take basically the whole month of that, you can make, who knows, you can make probably fucking profits like this. But on my big account, 7,430 is literally nothing more than just a slight break even day. And that's basically if I did take, so let's look at this picture again, let's examine it, right? So on the first trade I made 12 points, which makes sense because 12 points times $3 is $36, right? This one, 508, I bought it, I canceled the position at 515, so that means what, 6 points technically, 7 points, yeah, say 6 points, right? 6 times 3, 18. So it might have been $6.50, $6 and whatever, right? Or 6 points, 6.5 points. So that makes sense, right? So let's do the math. So what's 6 points plus 12? 18. Okay. Keep $55 in mind. $55 in mind. Somebody's yelling outside of my hotel, dude. Somebody's fucking yelling outside my apartment. What is this guy doing? I mean, my hotel. $7,200. $7,200. Look, it's all about lot sizing, right? Don't focus on how much points you're making. I promise. Focus on how much points you're making. Don't focus on the financial. Don't focus on the money. Don't be money motivated in life, because that's truly how you fuck up every business. A lot of people think, I just need to make so much money in a day, and then I'm rich, and then I'm an entrepreneur, or then I don't need a job, right? A job, an 8 to 4, 9 to 5. That's not how life works. If you have like that type of mentality, you're truth to be told, I don't know what to say about those type of people, because life is very, very humbling, right? Anyways, let's go back. So had I been trading this on my big account, again, $7,200. Again, look at this day, right? So that's what I literally had made, I think 19 or 20 points on this day. If you watch this video, I mean, if you just look at my screenshot of my profits, you would have seen it yourself, right? But either way, same day as last Monday. Now, again, from my strategy, now where would we, if this thing is coming down, what do we want to see it do? We want to basically see it either hold support over here, or maybe, depending on how the candles look, right, we want to see it hold resistance here, because if it breaks it, then we want to see this thing tank, right? But in this case, it didn't. So sometimes some trades need a little bit of a breather. That's what I mean, like a space, like a little, just give it time. And then she's a little bit indecisive what she's gonna do here. Either she can make it or she can break it. That's what I mean. In this case, she made it, and she, you know, had a nasty push up, right? So that's support and resistance in a very small drawing, if you will, right? An example. But anyways, I saw that we're coming up again. I wanted to retest, and I really wanted to see this thing being bullish, but I went to the left side and I saw this, right? So this was last Friday. You see this green candle, right? So we flushed, came up, and then we flushed. So what did I want to see it do? And it was kind of a weird day. It wasn't a hard day. It wasn't my A plus or my A minus setup day, but it kind of was on the easier side, right? So you kind of have to look at it now. If we know that she dumped, because she came up here, and let's look at what it did on the past, because past tells us everything, right? You can judge everything and a lot of people by their previous behavior and their attitude in the past, right? So don't, you make the mistake once, don't make it a second time, right? Fool me once, I don't know the whole story, but you guys get what I'm saying. So it came up, came down, came up, came down, came up, came down, came up. We retested it. So I see that there's something right over here, right? Something right over here. Now let me clear my drawing again, guys. Sorry, it's a little bit messy. So again, bear with me, right? Okay, so let me just take my rectangle. My rectangles make it a lot easier. My blue lines though are it's just a little bit more confusing just to show you guys. So I can see that we're holding something like basically right here, right? So I typically like to put a blue line because it's a little bit more straightforward in a moment of, when you have to rush everything, right? So again, let me do that drawing again. Came down, came up, bounced, finally broke it, and then you can see all these wicks, right? We have so many wicks to the upside when she broke it, right? And came back down. Now we basically had a little flat top. Again, look at that, right? And then she flushed, even though it might be small, but she still flushed. And when she came back up, I mean, first of all, she had that massive wick indicating that we have weakness above that zone. But when she did break it, she had a little retest and she popped it, right? She popped it. So then what did we do over here? When we flushed this to the south, we had a massive wick, showed weakness up there. And then this green candle, she was all the way down here, but the green candle said, hey, need a retest, and then it flushed, right? Flushed. So again, this would have been 15 to 30 minutes after a New York market opening on Friday. But guess what? You would have made it. I mean, you could have. That's an easy trade you could have taken. Sometimes you have to be patient. You have to give some breather space. You got to sit on your hands until you know what's happening, right? So, I don't want to delete everything. I might just do this. This might be better. Okay, right? So looking back to the left, I mean, I can see the same thing too. When she broke it, she came down, and she finally went back up. Again, over here, she wicked it, dropped. And when we finally broke it, again, she came up. The red candle had just wicked it. The green candle had pushed it back up. I mean, that wick over there, again, you can see that we have a lot of movement. Basically, every time she comes up, she comes back up, comes down to test it, comes back up, right? So again, basically double bottoms, and you have that nasty wick from the red candle, and basically just pushed up. So you have to read where all these candles are basically just pushing and where they're exactly bouncing off of, right? I mean, so for so long, I honestly thought that the strategy I kind of seen it when I was much younger. I had literally seen it. I mean, we're talking about like 10 to 12 years ago, give or take. I was thinking of the strategy something like a trampoline, because every time it touches something, it seems like a key level, because that's where you have these massive candles, right? So now let's talk about why I didn't take a buy over here. Now, as much as I wanted to see a buy just following its storyline, right? As a drawing that I did from before, like it came up, drop, came up, drop, came up, drop, came up, drop, came up. I want to see a drop, and then it should have been going back up. As much as I didn't do that, even though that's exactly what my first bias was, it's that nothing over here was validating that zone. Yeah, sure, this one was a little convincing, to be honest, because every time it came up, drop, came up, drop, came up, drop. But here's the thing. These candles should have been a little bit on the higher side if this was a valid support/resistance zone, right? So you have to kind of look at what's happening, read what's happening, fix the chart for what seems, whatever works for you. It just doesn't seem like there's a support anywhere over here. I would have honestly believed if somebody said that there's support maybe somewhere down here, right? This one seems a lot more of a support zone, because every time we have double tops here, and when she broke it, again, came down to retest, had a nasty candle to the north side, we pushed it, and then came back, nearly wicked it, and then we had a really good, like a U-turn, right, that went back up, right? So you want to see exactly where are all the basically bullish and bearish heavy volume candles are, because that's exactly what defines a story, right? According to my strategy. I mean, not just my strategy, those are also bank institution candles. So that's kind of like a hint from these big firms, right? Now, a lot of people, I know people are gonna ask this one way or the other because it's kind of a hot thing as of last Thursday, last Friday, NQ turning into 24/7, right? So, and from next quarter, the second quarter, they're gonna NAS NQ is gonna be officially 24/7. Now, here's the thing: if you have a legit strategy like mine that trades off of banks and big firms, and if you trade on their if you trade on their times, right? If you trade with their times, if you understand when and where the big moves are being made and how and why, that does not it does not change anything. You have all these unprofitable traders saying that before I could even master profitability, my strategy is already patched. You didn't have a proper strategy to begin with, right? Take it from somebody who doesn't need to trade on a fucking prop firm, doesn't need anybody's money. I trade with whatever knowledge I have, and it pays me really, really good. Again, I do this for my personal trading, and I do this for a bank, right? Because if I'm already doing this for a bank, why don't I just open an offshore account and make some decent money on the side, right? Now, here's the thing. I love doing small account challenges because it forces me, for the sake of my job and for the sake of my trading career, to become a much better trader. Because here's the thing, and a lot of people don't talk about it. When you have a big account, you have a really, really big drawdown. On a live account, the bigger your account, the more drawdown you have. On a prop firm account, I don't know how it gets when you're on a full funded account on a prop firm, but even on an eval, it doesn't matter. A 50K account, you basically have, I want to say, no more than mid to late $2,000 in drawdown. Otherwise, you blow the account. That is not the case in a real, even on a U.S. restricted broker or U.S. based broker, even in an offshore broker, you can basically take a $45,000 loss because that's how much you have in equity, right? So equity is falsified in the prop firm space. A lot of things are basically watered down and just false in prop firms. If you understand how charts move and how trading works, and if you understand book A trading, book B trading, prop firms are nothing but just short of scams, and it's fake, it's false, right? Their rules make it even harder to actually get payouts. And then if you even do all that, then you actually have to request a payout. I can withdraw the shit right now, right? I can literally finish trading and withdraw this the second I close this trade because it's in my account live. This is cash, right? So I flipped again. You watch all these videos. This is all live. This is cash. I'm in fucking Dubai. I celebrated the first week and a half of December, my birthday, my 25th birthday in Colombia. I came home, relaxed for not even a full week, and I already booked my whole trip to Dubai, right? So I'm over here sitting in Pearl Jamaica, the beautiful resort, the most expensive resort in majority of Dubai, as far as that I know of, and everything that I saw on TikTok. And that's exactly how me and my friends base our trips off of. Whatever we see in TikTok, social media, if we like it, hey, we just booked the damn flight, right? So learn. If you want to live a life that's similar to somebody, learn, right? Now, that strategy, with this one, I'm just going to use a rectangle, right? With this one, this was a great, again, from the bottom, from the top of that wick, this was a great support, but it needs a little space, right? So now look, this makes it a little bit easier to see, right? Because every time she came down into this zone, everybody knows this, support and resistance is best used and treated as a zone, not as a single line, right? I use a single line because it forces me to be a little bit more strict on myself. Is that better for my account? Of course, because I don't want to give it no leeway. I don't want to give it much space. I don't want to give it too much of a breather while I'm in the trade, right? I don't want to, again, you have to figure out what works for you. You have to figure out yourself. How are you emotionally? If a trade goes too much in drawdown, then I start freaking out. I start panicking. I trade for a bank. I don't want to get fucked up, right? My language, but I'm saying exactly for how I feel and how it is for a licensed investor / trader, right? If you do some fuck ups for banks, if you blow an account for a bank or take a huge loss that you can't recover by the end of that week or a week and a half, by the day you took it or from the day you took it, you're fired, buddy. You're fired. This trading thing is not a game for me. It's my blood. It's my interest. It's my life. It's my passion, right? So whatever. I mean, people want to fuck around with prop firms. It is what it is, right? I'm on a 20-day streak because I do this shit. I do this shit for a living, right? So now let's look at this, right? So let's look at this. This was oh wait, this was 2 Fridays ago, guys. This was last Friday. So sorry, 2 Fridays ago I saw that she had climbed back up, and I don't even think I had talked about it, did I? So I didn't talk about it. I did my analysis. I didn't even talk about the end result. So what happened is that she went up. It was really iffy because for the most part of the time she actually didn't drop down here, but at the same time she was really struggling to work all the way back up here. When she did, I took a sell stop right over here, so I got filled in instantly. And can't make this up, and I go on a 1 minute time frame just to show you guys the specifics, right? Just to show you guys the specifics. I had gotten like that. It was an instant fill. It was a matter of a few seconds after, you know, that thing when she retraced down, filled me in. She dropped. It was never a second in drawdown. So it might have been a little bit higher, to be honest. Whatever. But before she came all the way down here, she was stalling right here, right? And I think that's exactly where I was trailing. I had already protected my entry, so I moved my stop loss. And this is why my win rate is so high, because at the end of the day, I'm doing everything to protect my capital. I'm doing everything to protect myself, right? So it's kind of like biking or skating, if you will. Whatever example seems more dangerous to you. If you're skating or biking, you're going at a high speed. You're new. What can protect you? If you don't wear no helmet, no gears, skating gears, whatever, or biking gears, to protect yourself, you're kind of just going at it raw, right? So I did not intend to say it like that, but at the same time, once it trades and you're going your way, you should try to protect yourself. You should try to take some means of green, some type of profit, because you can always re-enter a trade. It's just you have to understand when to, especially given that it's the holidays, right? It's Christmas week. A lot of people, a lot of banks. I mean, I know my bank straight up said this morning, the moment I clocked in, the first thing the management said, it's holidays. Let's just take it easy. Nothing but just small greens, even if it's above break even. Take whatever happens, but do not end a single day. Do not end a week in the red, right? So these are things that you have to keep in mind. When the management says it, trust me. When people who've been trading for 20 to 30 years are telling you you should not have a red day today by any means, that means you shouldn't be aggressive, right? So a lot of people, again, I say these type of things in my Discord, but everybody, it feels like nobody ever wants to listen to somebody who's actually doing this shit. Everybody much rather, especially with TikTok, everybody much rather follow people who just don't want to, who aren't really trading well, who aren't really even making profit, who are still blowing evals. Maybe they bought their 40th or 60th eval. Hey, it's gonna sell here, guys. I know it. It's gonna sell here, guys. And next thing you know, it does sell, but maybe the way they managed their trade was just beyond just retardation. So you have to do everything with some things in the back of your mind. Trading is not just skill; it's experience. It's a lot of tears that roll down somebody's cheek. It's a lot of sleepless nights. It's a lot of stress brought upon themselves, right? So it's like a language, if you will, or a sport. I mean, I've heard examples of both. So when she came down here, I had slowly, I was trailing my stop loss. At one point, I remember I trailed my stop loss. It might have been somewhere over here. She was stalling here. Next thing you know, she had came up and then she had dropped it. That's fine. It's whatever. That was this first trade at $36. I mean, I was up $50. I don't care. It was $50 in one trade. I shouldn't have had to take another trade just to make $50. But at the same time, going back to the chart, the moment she had the next candle, I saw that she came back up, and I was like, you know what? I could care less, because, and that's fine. That's kind of funny, because at one point I was kind of thinking that she might flush all the basically people who entered, and if I was still holding it, if I did not move my stop loss, I would have been easily in, I think at the time it might have been 13 to 15 points on drawdown plus commission and spread. And she had looked extremely bearish, because where she had touched it was basically where I was expecting the previous support to be. So it kind of did pan out the way I was expecting it to. The only thing is, right where I was contemplating on taking a buy. I sold it and I wanted to take a buy because that was my original bias with Nas this morning, right? Pre-market. But here's the thing. I'm lucky I didn't, because the next thing you know, she had just tanked. And that's exactly why resistance and support works. But at the same time, you have to just give it some space. And when you're not clear, sit on your hands like what I did this morning, right? So she had came down. I mean, that was the fucking first thing it should have been done. It should have been doing to begin with. I remember it was somewhere over here. I mean, regarding my second trade, the buy, I don't 100% remember where I took it. I mean, I know that was a really quick trade. She was, you can't even see it on a 50-minute time frame. You have to actually break it down and kind of look at it. But I saw so many had wicks, and I think it was a little bit later, actually. It was probably right here. I saw it was this candle that I had entered a buy on. She had fluffed up, chased my stop loss, protected my entry, close out the trade early. That when I did X out early, it is what it is. I don't really care. Profit is profit, whether it's if it's a little bit or a big amount. Again, the only thing that changes here is my lot size. My lot size decides how much money I'm making per point, right? $3 per point versus on my big account $300, $400, $500, $600 per point, right? And when you can master these type of things in consistency, and make these things consistent, then you can easily basically make easy $65,000, $52,000. This was on my birthday, and this was a day after my birthday, by the way, because I was really, really, really in vacation mode, drunk, and I wanted to just say fuck it, right? So sometimes that's what works, when you just say fuck it. When you have experience and when you have everything on go, on the green, you just gotta basically take off your seatbelt, take a damn shot, and say fuck it, right? So sometimes things pan out better than what you could expect it. Now, I'm going to give 2 more examples, right? Because I do think this video is already 25 minutes long. That was a great trade. Again, I should have got it at the top. I did not think it would basically drop. I honestly thought, think about it, guys. That could have been an easy 90, 100 point move, right? I mean, I could have, with my first trade, look, if I took 90 points, what is it? It's this one. If I made 90 points, if I banked 90 points times my lot size, that could have been $270. You divide that by 8, imagine you're working at McDonald's or something like that, divide by 8, a full-time shift, that's $33, $34, right? Per hour. So you got to think about it like that. Don't just think like, I want to make $500, $600, $700, $900. I want to make $9,000. I want to make $60,000 right now, this and that. You got to be patient, guys. I promise. Learn the skill. The markets are here to stay, right? But let's go over here. It was this day that I rewinded to. This was last Friday. This was a very scary day. I had did nothing but just a small, I think that was a $47 profit day. I mean, I'm gonna have to go back. Actually, I can see it, right? Because I post everything here. I think it was this video. So, and this was last Thursday. If you go on the videos, you can see the dates, and you can see everything yourself, right? So, anyways, what was happening over here? Again, you have to just read it, right? So this is the pre-market candle. Actually, this is not the pre-market candle. This is 30 minutes or 30 to 15 minutes before pre-market. I mean, before the New York opening candle, right? So again, we're on the 15-minute time frame. You could see it. You could see my broker. You could see NAS 100, US 100. This is from 6. It opened 6 o'clock, closed at 6:15 a.m. I don't know if I said p.m. But every time she came up, she came down, right? I want to really emphasize and zoom in a little bit. Every time she came up, drop, came up, drop, came up, drop, came up, drop, right? And again, you guys have to notice that we had all these small candles, and now you have these big candles pushing up, so indicating we just broke something. We had to, right? Now, if we broke something, the bigger question is, if this thing came wicking down and this thing wicked up, and basically it's doing this type of price action, and this on the other hand is doing this type of price action, right? Again, came up, came down, wicked it, massive wick, came down, came up, came down. Again, we're holding something right here, we're holding something right here, we're holding something right here, right? We're holding something right there, right? And then look over here, we have all these candles that show indecisiveness. There's no red candle. That means that, you know, this thing's gonna push, this thing's gonna fucking fly. All these green candles mean it's gonna flush or it's gonna dump hard. It's really one of those twos, and it's a fucking 50-50 at that point. You just have to read, have to learn what's happening, and now you have to look to the left, right? So let's zoom out a little bit. Let's look to the left. Look. Again, I'm gonna use a line because it's just more on the simple side, right? So say that, you know, this is a great support, resistance over here, support over here. And we're looking over here, and let's let's look at it, right? So every time she came back up, you have double bodies here, you have wicks over here, you have wicks, and then massive sell-off, right? Massive sell-off. That should be an error, guys. That looks like a dick. My apologies. Massive sell-off. When you have these big wick candles, you need to understand that there's a move. That's the bank is pushing and fluffing these candles to a key level zone to react off of, right? Now, you look over here to the left, and this is really what caught my attention. Honestly, this would be a great one too. Every time, I mean, she had a double top over there, wicks on the top, but the double tops had closed below the line. Triple bottoms over here had closed on top of that line. Again, this space is what I was saying earlier with that little, you know, drawing. That, remember, I was doing this, that little drawing like this, support, resistance, but sometimes it comes down over here and needs some space before, you know, you can take a buy and you can hope for a fucking that nasty leg up, right? You have to be patient. You really have to be patient. But anyways, that's exactly what had happened with over here. So she did make it support, but, you know, she basically took 15, 30, 45, an hour and 15, an hour and 30, an hour and 45 minutes, basically, because, again, each of these candles are in increments of 15 minutes. It took almost 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes, and then she wicked this candle, again, nasty flush up. So the biggest hint of the strategy is to look at these big candles. Small candles only tell you exactly where. Small candles indicate, like, you know, we're probably close to a zone, but at the same time, they're not really that useful. It's these nasty candles that's really, really helpful, right? We look over here, I see that we came up flushed, wicked it, nasty. Wicks show rejection of a certain area. So put it on top of that wick, look, perfect. And look at this, right? Let me zoom in. Now look at what the 615 to 630 candle does. Is my thing flagging? Oh, my Wi-Fi, come on. So, okay, there we go. It wicked it, right? It wicked it, and it had just gone up. Now, what's crazy is that I actually thought it was a little bit on the higher side. I thought I had my support over here, right? Because at one point when I had entered, I got in drawdown a bit. Again, I thought it was this blue line on top that was support. I entered over here. She had gone about, I want to say, 15 points in drawdown, and next thing you know, she had flushed up. That's when I just exited the trade. And now, look what happened. New York opening at 6:30 a.m. on the dot. Again, PST time zone, right? So 6:30 a.m. Look at what happened. She flushed it. But at the same time, timing is your enemy. The timing is the worst thing you can rely when it comes to trading and stocks, right? Now you have to be very, very mindful of the time, the date, and exactly of your entries and your exits, news. Again, your timing is your enemy, right? But again, timing is everything because it's your enemy. So it can really make you, it can really break you, right? So again, she had wicked it. She had wicked the support area. I had the right trade in mind. I did make profit, but I did not let this one run because I just was so I was so iffy. Mondays and Fridays are the most volatile days of the whole week. If you even come and trade those 2 days successfully of every week, you can easily make 6 figures every fucking week and a half, every month. I mean, it's just up to you, right, on how gutsy and ballsy you are. But that was a great trade. let's go. Which one was it? I don't want to talk about CPI, which was last Thursday, December 18th. I'd much rather talk about this day. This was a day, last Wednesday. I did ace it pretty well, to be honest. And I think this is a great example to talk about regarding my strategy, right? So, I mean, this was the A plus fucking setup. I loaded this trade on my big account and my work account. I remember we had formed a U, again, triple bottoms over here, and we broke it. I wanted to see it come back up just to flush it, right? So let me just delete all my drawings here, friends. I really wanted to see it basically hold resistance over there because we had just flushed it, right? So at one point she had done like a little U, had bounced off of this with the bodies, wick show rejection, she had flushed up, and then the next candle from 6 a.m. to 6:15 a.m. PST, she had just tanked, she had broke it. Now one of the two things could have happened. Now you have to look to the left to really decide what's happening, right? So ideally, we have wicks over here. We have wicks over here upwards, wicks over here upwards. But then I'm looking over here and I see this little price action. Every time it came up, drop. Came up, finally broke it, came down. Wick show rejection down here. And we fluffed upwards, right? We popped upwards. I should say that. That would make a little bit more sense. And then when we came back down, you know, we wicked it. Came over here, wicks to the upside, show rejections up here now, which is weird. We have triple tops over here, showing that, you know, now we have something over here again, and we're going down, right? Again, wicks over here, showing that we're rejecting something up here. So now, again, let me just delete my drawings. Ideally, I was thinking that we can hold some type of support resistance right there, right? And the only reason why I took a sell, now of course you're gonna be like, well, you put your line over here, right? Well, yeah, I did, but it's all about reading charts, and you sometimes have to be very mindful of what's happening with the other candles too, right? So I didn't, of course I told you what was happening here, but I didn't tell you what's happening over here, right? So came up, came down, came up, and then we had a little retest, and it pushed back up, came down, retested it, flushed upwards, and you know, we're just going and we're just dilly-dallying like this. And then we've had these, again, massive candles. Again, part of my strategy, you have to read everything, read the charts, and you have to understand where's the big candles, what are the big candles doing versus the small candles, right? Everything in trading happens for a reason. If your strategy isn't based around that line of thinking, your strategy is going to be patched with a 24/7 thing that's happening to NAS, right? So because you don't have a legit strat. And that might suck to hear, but I mean, there's so many people who try to trade similar strategies as ICT, and they're like, well, ICT himself wasn't profitable with this and that. So you guys have to do your due diligence. I feel like the dumbest learn from the dumber ones. I just don't know how that's possible, right? But anyways, so I was already bearish. If I were to draw my little rectangle of a resistance zone, it'd be right here to right. Actually, that's not even accurate because I already put it that we're bouncing off of there. It would be right there to basically the wicks, not just the wicks, but the bodies. I always try to focus everything off of the bodies of the candle, whether that's the top or bottom. Sometimes wicks do work, but honestly, I wouldn't judge it. Wicks show massive rejection of a certain space, right? So you want to look at the body. Every time the body closed above this, she had pumped back up, wicked it, and then she had pumped up over here, wicked it. Almost the body, double bottoms are touching this, but it's still the wicks. Double bottoms of these candles touching it. Yeah, it's pretty accurate, right? So should actually be a little bit lower. There you go. Also looking at that wick over there, and look what happened. She's gonna wick it, and she's just gonna tank, right? So what's she gonna do? Again, she was doing this, so she's gonna try to why is this thing holding it? So she did this. Now she broke it. She's gonna come back. She wants to retest this, and then she's gonna tank, right? Let's see what happens. Now again, this is the 6 to 6:15. Let's see what the 6:15 to 6:30 does. This is what I'm looking to enter. It wicked it. Not always going to be spot on, right? Not always going to be spot on. It's not always going to touch it right then and there. Same thing with support and resistance. You have to just get the gist of things. And next thing you know, look, I think it wicked it again, and it just immediately just tanked, right? So that's exactly how trading works. I mean, it was great. It was beautiful. Let me know. I did 3 backtesting sessions. I mean, I think it might be good to just do these backtesting sessions in general, but I would prefer to do it in live calls in my Discord, right? So look, if you look if you look at my strategy, if you look at any of my videos, if any of it sparks your interest and you're like, you know what, you actually want to learn how to trade very similar like me, right? You don't have to learn how to trade just like me. You can learn and take certain pieces from my style of trading, implement it in your own, maybe twist your own bias, your own analysis in it, and then trade from there, go from there. You honestly would have a really a much significant higher chance of succeeding and being profitable, right? So again, guys, I don't want to rub my nuts in anybody's faces. That's just a pretty shitty thing to do, but I'm profitable. I'm profitable. I'm profitable. If I end the week red, I'm going to make it back plus some mere profits maybe the next week, right? But I'm gonna end every month in the green because that's my primary source of really affording my rent, affording my mortgages, affording my vacations, affording literally everything and anything you could think of. These vacations, right? I like clubbing. I like doing VIP services. I don't really want to do it, but if I have a group of friends, I'll still do it. And I don't have to worry about that shit financially, right? So, of course, I have bills just like anybody else. With every successful story, there's a shit ton of pain and bills that follows. So, and then the rest is history, right? So please give me some feedback. First time I made this type of video with this brand, with this channel. I used to do these type of videos a lot on my old previous channel, but kind of wanted to restart, whatever. Give me some feedback. Let me know where's the confusion. I hope my entry, what triggers my entry, what makes me want to enter is clear. I mean, I talked to 3 different examples. There should be a little bit more on the clear side now when you rewatch these videos. I mean, it should kind of spark something like, oh, that's why he re-entered, right? So again, rewatch these videos. I trail my stop loss and try to run into profit, but sometimes, like over here, ideally, I knew Fridays, it's typically one direction based. Like same thing with Mondays, meaning at New York opening, we're either gonna have a massive flush to the south or a massive pump to the north. So ideally, I wanted to see it basically come, and just as my overall TP, I don't have TP1, TP2, TP3. I wanted to come over here because look, that's a 57 points of a difference, right? I'm not looking, again, money related or doing my math right away when I'm trading. No, I could give a fuck, but it's just every time she came to this blue line, pushed up, came down to the blue line, pushed up, right? So I came up, wicked it, came back down, came up again. The body's doesn't really make it the proper support, but that was just something when I do in a state of emergency, it's just a state of a rush, right? I'm like, okay, this is at least what it should hit, and if it comes close, even remotely close, I'm taking my profits, or I'm moving my stop loss, just depending how it reacts as we get closer to the zone. So what's crazy is that this was a crazy day. I think this was the day I made a rookie mistake on this account. But my work account, it was an easy 6 figures plus day. I mean, my commission is close to these things for my work account. Being a financial investor for a federal bank in the state of California, in the country of the United States of America, is very, very rewarding, right? And when I make these type of numbers and commissions, when I make these type of numbers for the banks, guess what? It kind of fuels up and re-ups my packages, for vacations, PTO, Sometimes I get to call, you know, if I want to work at home for a full week. I mean, unless if there's anything that's major, like a major meeting at work, I get to do everything at home. So I have that leeway. When I trade properly, when you trade properly, there should be multiple advantages, right? So anyways, that's it for the video. Any questions, join the Discord. Please drop a chat, a little message in this chat over here, to the chat room. Should take you over here by default, right? I'm pretty active in here. Yeah, I do have DMs, and I have some others that I read, but I just haven't really had a chance to respond because now it's 6:35 a.m. my time. And you know, all love, guys, all love, right? So as always, guys, peace, love, and cheers. Thank you.